things that maybe you should do while we're in the park to help take care of everything, or that maybe you shouldn't do. Raise your hands, tell me one thing.
Touch the animals.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you not to handle the animals. If we see something, we're going to stop and look, and I'll tell you a little bit about the animal. But I'm going to ask you not to pick them up, because anything that you could pick up is going to be really small. So to that animal, you are a giant. Can you imagine if King Kong picked you up and put you like this to look at? How would you feel? Tiny, a little scared maybe? Don't forget, these are wild animals. They figure if you put them near your mouth, you're going to eat them. Even if it's just to look at them, it's near your face, and they're gonna really be stressed. So it's not good for the animals. A lot of animals, if you have insect repellent on your hands or anything like that, that can harm the animals if you touch them. So I'm going to ask you not to touch them. But if you see anything interesting, please let's stop and look at it, and we can talk about it. Again, my name is Miss Joan. I am always going to be the first person in line, and I could ask maybe one of the adults just to be the last person, however that works out. So my back is always going to be to you when we're walking, but if you see something interesting, I am asking you please to call out, Miss Joan, can we look at this? Okay? But call out right away. Don't wait till we're 100 feet or 300 feet down the trail. Tell me right away. Call out. You don't have to raise your hands because my back is to me. I can't see your hand in the air. But when we stop and we're face to face, you should use your hands. So let me know, and we'll stop and we'll look at whatever it is. It could be a tree, it could be an animal, it could be a hole in the ground, anything that you're interested in. Okay, so don't handle the animal.
Summer Explorers Camp, and we are starting our day in the Great Swamp.
Animals, do you think, might be interested in the mushrooms in the park?
Worms.
You mean like earthworms that live underground? Do you think they would eat mushrooms? Do they have teeth?
No.
Do you know what earthworms eat?
No worms, regular worms.
What's a regular
They
worm?
eat grass.
Lower and slimmer the wood turtle is compared to the box turtle. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Right? The wood turtle spends time in water. It can swim. But a box turtle can't swim. It has to spend all its time on land. It stays near water. It needs to drink, but it doesn't swim. So this is a much more streamlined shape. You know how a sports car is kind of low to the ground and streamlined looking, right? Well, this is the sports car model, and this is sort of, I don't know, what would you call it? The van model or the VW Beetle model, right? It's not built for speed, and it's not built for swimming through the water. And turtles are amazing. Box turtles in particular. Now this one has lost its bottom shell, but it's got a hinged bottom shell, so that, I don't know if you can see, but when it's scared and it pulls its head in, it can pull the hinge closed. So it's like a completely closed box. Let me show on this side. When it's scared and pulls its head in, it can close the hinge of its bottom shell and be completely closed up. Don't, please. Don't pull up the roots. The trees need their roots. Remember we said I have to protect everything in the park? I'm going to protect you guys, but I also have to protect all the animals and plants too. So, and the really neat thing about turtles, do you think turtles can just walk right out of their shells and leave their shells behind like they do in the cartoons? No. They can't. And the reason for that, I'm going to pass this around so you can get a good look. The reason for that is because the spine and the ribs are part of the shell.
Wow.
Can you see that? If your spine was part of your shell, do you think you could just leave your shell behind? No. Not really. Not really. If you want to start down in the back there, you can take a look at it. Count to 3 and pass it on. Don't hold on to it for too long.
Rachel, can you tell me what are we looking at right here?
We're looking at
What kind of hole is it? What animal?
a groundhog.
No. Right here we just found the actual hole of a chipmunk. And our tour guide told us that this is where chipmunks come in and come out to get their food and go back to live underground.
It got worn off, and so that's exposed.
So she was just
But
telling
it's
us
okay. The
that
tree will be okay. It's got
roots
other
underground of
that
a
go
tree
down to-
grow as wide as a tree's branches.
We're gonna go out home
Poison
Poison
ivy.
ivy vine, and the leaves come in groups of 3. Sometimes the leaves are red and shiny when they're young, but you can't count on that. They may not be red and shiny. Groups of 3, that's absolutely right. So do you know the song or the poem to remember it? No. Repeat after me. Leaves of 3. Leaves of 3. Let it be. Let it be. Hairy rope. Hairy rope. Just say no. Just say no. Okay? Because the oil that can give you a bad you all know it gives you a bad rash. It's really itchy and annoying. The oils that can give you the rash are in the vine and the leaves. They're in the berries and the flowers and every part of the plant. And even when poison ivy is dead, the oils can still give you the rash. You know what's the worst part? All the wild animals can eat it. They don't get the rash. We're the only animals that get a rash from poison ivy. Isn't that a bad deal?
Yeah.
I think so too. I think so too. Because I can tell you and teach you about this plant, but I'm going to ask you not to pick any more than that. Just let me pick one and I'll pass it along. You can look at it. Because if we take off all the leaves, then the animals won't have those leaves to eat. Okay? Just a moment. Yeah. So, light sniff. Don't smell too strong. Pass it down. Well, maybe there's so much bug spray here. I think maybe that is what you're smelling. That is called. All right, this plant, boys and girls, can you hear me? This plant has such big leaves it reminds people of cabbage. Cabbage leaves, and it smells bad.
You didn't smell it.
So people call it skunk cabbage. It's called skunk cabbage. And it's in the springtime. Let me see if I can find the picture. In the springtime, even when there's still snow on the ground, skunk cabbage is the first plant that comes up. And you can see it's growing right out of the snow. Can you see that?
So it turns red first and then
And look what color it is when it first comes out of the ground. Does it look like the color of meat?
Rachel, hold it out so Ricky can take a picture.
Kind of, right? Kind of. There's flowers inside.
Good,
So
Ricky.
you know what? Flies lay their eggs in here. The flies come in looking for meat to lay their eggs on because it smells like meat and it looks like meat. And so the plant tricks the flies into carrying its pollen from flower to flower. And pollinating the flowers. What happens after a flower gets pollinated? Do you know? They have long, skinny legs, and they just kind of walk or skate on the surface of the water. I know there's a lot of mosquitoes.
Yes, it is. No. They're right there.
Can you see them?
No. Yeah. This is right there. Right there. That's another one. What's that? Weird. Where is it? I just saw it. It wasn't brown. That is brown. It wasn't brown. It was white.
Why do you think we call it a catbird? Everybody.
Because it sounds like a cat.
It does. Here's some more. It usually ends with the meow. It has that pretty song and then it goes meow. So keep your ears open when we walk. See if you can hear it.
I heard it. I heard it.
Oh, you heard it?
I heard it. I heard it.
Evan heard. You didn't hear it. You heard.
That's a wood frog. This? That's my walking stick. I have problems.
So this is a what? What is this, guys? Yeah, but what type of water is this? This is it's a pond. Good. What body of water?
This is what I see. Oh, I see the head of it. I see the alligator. I see the alligator. Oh, they did it. Oh, I see. I see a turtle. Yeah, I see it.
Where do you see it?
What's cool, Jordan? What's cool?
I see the turtle. I don't live here.
You just said, "Oh, that's cool."
Okay, let's go.
You don't remember saying that?
Who said they saw the alligator? Show me the alligator. Who saw the alligator?
When they asked, is it alligator?
Someone said they saw an alligator.
Where?
I don't know.
Everyone, any on the dock right now, but there usually are. I think that one swimming out there is a painted turtle.
Excuse me. Where? What are we Oh, I see a chipmunk in there.
Where?
Right there. That's a pointed thing and it has a face on it.
I don't think that's really a face. Chipmunks would
I want to go home.
Remember I was telling you how a box turtle can close up its shell? Look at this. Look at the way its shell is all closed up. Can you see that? Because there's a hinge. It's the only kind of turtle that has a hinge in the bottom of its shell, and it can close completely.
Oh, wait, I know turtles are mouse.
You do? Cool.
Cool. No. Spooky. Very cool. Oh, I see her swimming, that turtle. Hey.
Yep.
No, she's moving. That's a lot of ants.
Sometimes we find salamanders under there, but there are none today.
You see the big mushroom, Rookie? Right there.
You're scared of a chipmunk.
You see, what is that, guys?
A mushroom.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a big mushroom.
That's a
Miss Carson, a big mushroom. Ooh.
She's a box turtle. And those of you who were in my group, you remember I showed you how she had a high dome.
Yes, yes.
Don't go anywhere. She's going to bring it to you. Where you going? You get your book bag, which is on your shoulder.
Rookie.
She's got a shell on the top and on the bottom.
Oh.
Everyone's getting the touch and feel of the box turtle. It's a box turtle, right?
Melinda, you can press the red button to shut her off. Okay, ready?
She's strong. I have to hold on to her. She's not pretty, but she wants to get away. She wants to have her feet on the ground.
Stop that. She's taking a picture. You recording?
She said good job.
Okay, just get
So this door.
It's a little tiny
What are you doing with me? Oh, next week, say it.
She has scales on her legs, like any other reptile. Any of the grown-ups?
He's adorable, but
You guys will win.
I don't wash my hands.
She's got wide scales on her belly. Let me take questions at the end, okay? She's got wide scales on her belly, and she's got tiny muscles, one muscle for each scale. She's very strong, she's very muscular for her size. She's got about 200 ribs, so she's very flexible. And those muscles each tiny muscle moves one scale on her belly. And that's how she moves. The scales are kind of like if you were to use your fingernails to drag yourself across the road. Can you picture that? Can you imagine that? That's what her belly scales are like. And she can move each scale to do that. They can move actually pretty fast.